Hey traders, Alex is here from the Crypto Lab. So it is a Sunday morning, my time, and I wanted to give you an update on the top 5 cryptos we selected for our members last week. I posted the video on my YouTube channel a couple of days ago on our top 5, and the whole group was doing pretty nice. It's the cryptos from the different categories, and this was the last night screenshot where the two especially designed as in the beginning meme coins, but FLOKI has kind of changed its ecosystem. But I put them in this video in the same category, so we will look what's going on these two on this Sunday morning, and I will also show you how they correlate with the Bitcoin. So in my newly Discord service, we have a lots of action going. We have a top 5. We also have every week a crypto related stocks review. We are covering a lots of crypto categories as well. So really dynamic service, and I think members are pretty pleased what we have achieved so far in this couple of weeks in the Crypto Lab. So if you want to join us, just give me an email, cryptolabalex @gmail.com. So let me go on this too. Let me show you first PEPE. So this is the PEPE coin. So if we look from lows, we will notice that this was actually a first correction of the Bitcoin. So from there we see the potential 5-wave move, as I labeled it here. Orange is a Bitcoin and white is PEPE coin. So this was actually, as I do track the all cryptos through the Elliott wave lens, and this was actually a pullback in the Bitcoin from the lows from 15k. So only after that pullback, when Bitcoin started to move into intermediary wave 3, PEPE and FLOKI was started to move on the upside. So as you can see, they're pretty much correlated, although as majority of altcoins, they are reacting on the downside, on the upside with a little bit more power, I will say. So even in this case, when we have seen the move up in the Bitcoin and a smaller pullback, PEPE was reacting relatively more powerful on the downside, and in my opinion this was a wave 1 pullback in a wave 2, and then we have seen a sharp wave 3 on the upside. So as you know, wave 3s are always almost a vertical affair. We have a really almost 90 degree angle on the move in the certain direction, either up or down, depends are we bullish or bearish, and then the other correction follows, and usually you will see on the larger time frame 2 corrections, and here we have the first one. And after this such a immense rise on PEPE, I think from lows we did something around 1000%, 1160%. It's natural. PEPE want to take a little bit of breather and actually take a rest before we carve up a final push on the upside, which will be the wave 5 or the 5th sequence after the 2 corrections. So let's remove this Bitcoin, just that this line doesn't bother us anymore, so we can see more clearly chart. And what is particular for corrections, which are most important to decipher in the Elliott wave world, there is some correspondence between them in the price and time. Time-wise, we have seen that this correction so far has made almost 0.618 time related to the time spent in the wave 2, which is fine. This was most likely an ABC pullback or a WXY, whatever you labeled it. It was a pretty long, drawn-out correction, although this was a little bit more directional in a wave 4, which kind of covers the guideline of alternation, where the wave 2 is relatively slow and sideways, a waveform might be directional and vice versa. So this condition now most likely is fulfilled. Also, the time ratio kind of fits it. Usually you want to see equality. Waveforms which are balanced between the bulls and bears also should go to equality. So I'm looking this as of now as a completed correction, but with one condition. Of course, I'm gonna look some of the indicators that I look, which are mainly lagging ones, but they serve in this case just as a little bit more of confirmation. But the bigger confirmation that I will look on PEPE is that we develop some type of a 5 waves up, challenging these resistance levels here, and that will be a significant confirmation that actually we can anchor this green wave 4 here, and then almost the probability will increase that after a small pullback we will continue relatively nicely higher towards these two targets I have outlined here. So for now we don't have that. I will go on a smaller time frame. So as you can see from lows, we still cannot count 5 waves here, so there is a 3-way move, so we need to continue further on the upside, and actually made a nice impulsive move testing this one of these two levels. Usually you will test the X or the B wave when you arise from a correction, and when I see that the wave 2 pullback depends how long it will be, it will be a potential entry for us for the further continuation on the upside, but only when that happens. So this is just a 3-way move now. I'm anticipating since our wave count on Bitcoin and Ether suggests possible lows, so I'm anticipating a little bit this in advance, but it's still not guaranteed, and confirmations are important because they raise the probability of the forecast that it's going to continue in the further uptrend, or to follow the current uptrend further on the upside. So on PEPE, I will wait a little bit more development here, and then depends how the pullback plays out. We will structure some low risk potential trade on the upside following all of this pattern. In the case that we don't and we reverse lower, it means that this correction is not done, but I will still stay with a resolute conviction that this is just a correction, this is just a 3-way move lower, and if this turns out to be just a 3-way move and we turn lower, the next level and the next test, in my opinion, will be again 38.2, and this is also one more thing that will look pretty much. This is the 38.2% retracement from this wave 2 measured in a retracement level, so retracement of whole of this wave 3 on the upside, and that is something what you want to see for a pullback in wave 4. Again, if we don't trace out a 5-way move on the upside, I will look this just as a part of this correction 3-way move, and then a continuation slightly lower towards this again 50% and 38.2% retracements, and then a continuation higher. Although I'm a little bit more biased that this will happen now, and that's why I'm releasing this video, just to show you that potentially we might carve out in the next week or two this 5 waves up, and then a pullback will be a nice possible low risk entry for the further upside. So that will be a PEPE. So FLOKI looks pretty similar. So if we look the whole wave count on FLOKI, it kind of reminds the same. So let me just, I forgot to show you a couple of things also on PEPE, and that will be a couple of indicators which are kind of a helping tools. I don't rely on them much, but I just look them. So this is the MACD, and MACD is pretty much late, but as you can see here, you can use it for some type of a confirmation, and we are pretty much after this nice fall on the downside. This is a daily chart. After a nice move on the downside, you might see a cross soon. As you can see, the white line is starting to move which is a faster, starting to move a little bit more on the upside. And we might see this cross when we trace out maybe a third wave here, and then this might signal we are moving further higher on PEPE. Also, RSI on daily, it's relatively good. It went down close to 30 and down. It's after that it's starting to move further on the upside, which is a good sign. So all of these things now, from the technical perspective, are pointing to a possible confirmation and the further continuation of this uptrend on PEPE. So let's go now on FLOKI, which has a similar situation. We have also, I will start with an indicator because that will be quick, not to forget later. So the same thing, we are starting to cross this green line. RSI also touched lower level around 30 and starts to move on the upside. So this is also a daily chart. And FLOKI is in the similar situation. And wave 2 was pretty much bigger in FLOKI, as you can see, so from lows, and it's also correlated the same as PEPE with the Bitcoin. I'm not going to do the overlay because it's basically the same chart you have seen on PEPE. So 5 waves up from lows, relatively nice. 1, 2, up in 3, triangle, 4, up in 5. So this, I think, was a complex correction or an ABC. I didn't go on a smaller time frame, and it doesn't really matter so much. It was a pretty much sideways correction, so you can label it. People usually point to a much more how do you label things is that but this was generally in past, and if you label it as an ABC X ABC, it's just important. If even if you don't look and label it, it's a sideways, very drawn out sideways correction to the downside. When you look wave 4, again, same as PEPE, it was a very sharp correction. So 0.618 time relation spent in wave 2 and wave 4, which is relatively a good sign. Guideline of alternation, it's also fine because this was a sideways, this was a more directional correction, and then we have some type of a 1, 2 and possible wave 3, 4 and 5 for the green wave 1 and the further development higher, which I will show you on a smaller time frame in just a second. We also reached 38.2% 4 versus 2 retracement. We can also do a time ratio in the this category, so we can also look how much. We already did that, so we can do a ratio of 4 versus 2 to see how much length actually is, and the length is 1618, as you can see, 4 versus 2, which means how much of a price movement on the downside was covered by 1 or 2. So yeah, so let's go on a smaller time frame and let's look what's going on there. So same thing, we need to see a 5 waves up. Usual things, what you are going to see is a test of these two levels. Let me just adjust this label as a resistance, and then I will just copy that, and these 2 points will be a resistance if we continue to move on the upside. So this is a pretty directional move, which I like. It smells like a third wave on the upside. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we use some fib ratios on the, we are coming to equality. So this is a very crucial level, equality. If we start moving lower and actually break some of the levels there, it will mean that this was just a part of a bigger correction and we continue lower, test some lower levels, then we have to move this way forward and actually start all of this exercise again. But if we start to move in the next few days a little bit more higher in the wave 3, 4 and 5, that will mean that FLOKI has done its work for a potential confirmation of this low, pullback in a wave 2, depends how deep it will be. It will offer a low risk entry and continuation up higher, of course with the Bitcoin, because our view on a Bitcoin is that potentially we have reached a lows, but Bitcoin is slow to confirm it. So when I look the Bitcoin chart, I need also to see 5 waves up, and it's pretty slow for now. We might see it, of course, next week. So all depends what the stocks will do, what the monetary policy is doing. So lots of also earnings. Now we are in the earnings season, so lots of side effects, and we will see how cryptos will react. But we are monitoring situation on these two, and FLOKI and PEPE for now looks pretty good for the further upside development if we see what we want to see on them. So thank you guys on this Sunday week attention. If you want to visit or become a member of our Discord service where we cover lots of stuff for cryptos, you can write me an email on cryptolabalex at gmail.com, and you can make further inquiries how to become a Discord member. And we have a live community, lots of channels, lots of things we are covering on cryptos. We have a daily update, so every day I make a video in the morning and update members of what's going on our crypto list, what do we track, and also we are doing lots on the crypto stock side. So this is the categories, all what we track on cryptos. This is the crypto related stocks, which are many of them. I just did yesterday analysis on the MSTR and Bitcoin, looking for a further upside, maybe a little bit more downside in MSTR, but then I look for higher levels. We also do cover macro every Monday, where we are looking the overall conditions in the markets. We are looking dollar, we are looking indices, we are looking rates. We are also looking oil, some commodities, and crypto related stocks as well. So pretty complete service in my opinion in cryptos, with a very I think fair price. So if you want to check it out, just send me an email and I will give you the further information. So thank you guys, and see you on the next update. Bye bye.